So we've got the station visitors car park just out front here, and then beyond that is authorised personnel only. So let's let this bike out and get in his way. Nice little Yamaha. Yeah, so police authorised vehicles only, and over on this side it does say for police personnel only on this one. There we go. But you can't really see a huge deal from somewhere the public can stand, unfortunately. You've got a forensic services van there. And that's about it, really. So that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, not bad, thank you. Pardon?
Is there anything we can help you with?
No, you're right. I'm just going to see if I can wait and get some marked vehicles coming in and out or stuff, something.
Can I ask why?
Pardon?
Can I ask why?
Just out of interest, really. That's all. Alright. Alrighty. I'm on a 125 at the moment.
Yeah,
And by the way, you just blocked somebody coming in. Just be careful of where you park your bike. He was literally trying to come in. Alright, but yeah, so next time I'd recommend.
because I want to make sure.
Yeah, I understand that. But obviously, you can pull over safely to the side and do so.
What's your name?
Pardon?
What's your name?
What's your name?
Liz.
Liz.
So I'm this police officer that's in charge.
Oh,
of this
Chief Superintendent. Oh, okay, lovely.
Have you got any ID on you, please?
Why would I need ID?
Have you got any ID on you, please?
Come on,
Otherwise we're going to have to ask you to leave.
Come on, Superintendent. You don't just go around demanding ID from the members of the public.
I'd certainly do if they're counter-terrorism risk.
Counter-terrorism risk? What makes it a counter-terrorism risk?
Filming our officers.
As I explained to the person on the bike, I don't even know who that is.
Okay, if you...
But I'm just waiting for some marked vehicles to come in and out.
Sir, would you mind me asking, just asking what are you doing here?
As I've just explained twice now, once to the person on the bike and one on the to this lady.
Mate, listen. Can't really be outside police stations.
Okay, before you go ahead with the search, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
I would highly recommend that you look up a memo from the National Police Chiefs Council regarding people filming in public places, regarding social media vloggers and police stations. I would highly recommend it before you land yourself a lawsuit.
Listen.
And that's you do what you
feel comfortable with that.
you do what you got to do. You do what you got. I will not say now. I do not consent to any searches. I know lawfully I don't have to, but I want to make that clear.
Regardless of your ability to film things in a public setting.
Right.
Obviously you raise our awareness and our suspicion, particularly in an environment of severe CT risk.
And who are you, sorry?
I'm Inspector Tarek McKinsey.
Inspector
Tarek McKinsey.
McKinsey, that's a cool name, I like that. And have you got a warrant number there?
Yeah, I do. 243581.
243501, thank you. And do you have a warrant number? Sorry?
Mate, listen.
Sorry,
Instead of being obstructive.
you were going to... No, I'm not being obstructive. I'm trying to get relevant
Can you
information.
just listen to me for a second, all right?
No, I don't have to listen to you, do I?
Okay. You don't?
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
So you've given me a warrant number. Do you have a warrant number, Superintendent, please?
We're not going to engage with any further.
Listen.
Well, you are, because you're saying that you're going to search me, so you would have to give your information at that point anyway, wouldn't you?
Can you grab one of the uniform lot?
Yeah.
And you're Charlie Wynn, so you're a constable, thank you. But, am I being detained at this moment? Am I currently detained?
Yeah, uniforms. So
No.
who are equipped to everything to do with
Okay, so I'm not detained.
Not at this precise moment.
Okay, not at this precise moment. Well, again, as I said, you've got smartphones. I would highly recommend you look up this memo, okay? This memo is a key piece of evidence in court on these lawsuits.
I'm not disputing the fact that you're not allowed to film in a
Absolutely.
public setting, but the fact that you're here and filming police vehicles...
No, but the memo clearly states that filming outside of...
This starts off looking like just another quiet evening outside a police station. But within minutes, it turns into a high-stakes clash over power, rights, and the limits of authority. On one side, you've got an auditor calmly filming from a public space, claiming he knows the law inside out. On the other, senior police officers invoking counterterrorism concerns, serious language that instantly raises the stakes. But here's where it gets really interesting. Both sides are absolutely convinced they're right. The auditor is referencing official guidance and warning about lawsuits, while the officers are leaning on suspicion and public safety. And when those two worlds collide, things don't just get tense, they get unpredictable. Watch closely, because this isn't just about filming. It's about how quickly a routine interaction can escalate into a legal standoff. Who actually understands the law here? Who's overstepping? And more importantly, how far can police powers really go before they cross the line? Let's break.
No,
You have to have objection. So you
out.
suspect me being a terrorist?
You're also filming people who
Okay.
police officers coming out who are not who are not wearing uniform.
No. You're making an assumption. You're making an assumption there.
The officer just came out and said you were filming as she exited. So,
Right, and do you know that
you're
I was filming her?
Well, I have that suspicion. Okay.
Okay.
And that's enough for me to look into.
It's not. That's filming in public.
we can debate this all day.
It's
We
not a
can debate
debate.
this
The
all
memo
day,
clearly
alright?
says it, and the fact that I've
Okay,
made you
well,
aware
that's
of this
fine.
memo is going to win me the lawsuit.
Look, that's absolutely fine.
It's absolutely fine.
It's fine for you to have that opinion.
It's
You're
not an
filming not only
opinion.
marked
It's
officers,
fact.
but staff who
I've
are
already got
unmarked
one
coming
lawsuit
through.
against the MPS for this exact
Okay,
reason.
well, look, I'm not going to debate those situations. Okay. Is anyone available?
We're just going to ask a question. It's on pop down, but yeah. No, it should come out on the radio.
Yeah, by me. Okay.
Well, I might just stick around, to be honest. Might go. But
That's within your gift, right?
well, apparently, because I'm not detained. But you suspect me of being a terrorist because you said you're going to detain me. You're waiting for a uniform to come and detain me. So clearly, you suspect me of being a terrorist.
We'd be more comfortable doing a search when we've got body worn footage as well. All right.
So you're not going to detain me until the uniform gets here. You're just going to wait. At which point I could just walk away, potentially be a terrorist. As you're saying, you suspect.
It's a developing situation.
It's not, because if you genuinely suspected me of being a terrorist,
I don't
you
really
would be
want to
you would be
engage with you
physically
further
detaining me,
because
wouldn't
you're
you?
being provocative, in my opinion, and I think you're doing that on purpose.
No, I'm trying
That's
to
my
reason
view.
with you,
That's my view.
Inspector.
You're not being reasonable because you're interrupting me non-stop. I'm trying to talk. You keep cutting
You
in.
interrupt me as
Okay.
well.
No, I've let you speak. You've said you've made your piece. I've explained what we're looking to do.
Yeah,
Okay, and that's fine.
but it's not fine. That's the issue, Inspector, is that it's not fine. You cannot abuse. You used to have Section 44.
I'm not abusing.
You don't have to
I'm not
talk.
abusing.
You don't have to talk. Do you know you used to have Section 44? Do you know why that got repealed? For this exact reason, didn't it? Didn't it, Chief
So
Superintendent?
why are you filming us now?
Pardon?
Why?
Well, for my own protection. You just said that you're going to detain and search me. As you said, you want body-worn footage. I want my own record as well.
We want to make sure officers are safe. So we want to take.
And I want to make sure members of the public are safe from tyrants like yourselves. So if you're going to abuse Section 43, I cannot stop you from doing that, obviously. And I won't resist you. I'm not going to aid you, but I won't resist you. And you will end up with a civil suit, and you will both be up on disciplinary matters.
We're going to wait for the uniform. I think we've both set our piece here.
No, I haven't finished saying my piece, actually.
You're free to talk.
I know.
Jump. You can see the disconnect. The officer is trying to shift the conversation away from legality and toward intent. High asterisk he's filming. Meanwhile, the auditor is staying laser-focused on the legal threshold for a search. And this is a classic clash. Perception versus law. Here's the key issue. Under counterterrorism powers, suspicion isn't supposed to be vague or based on gut feeling alone. It needs to be grounded in something specific. But the officer isn't clearly articulating that yet, which immediately puts them on shaky ground. And the auditor. He's not just defending himself, he's laying a foundation. By bringing up that memo early, he's planting a seed that could become very important later. So ask yourself, is this a genuine safety concern or the start of an overreach?
Uniformed officer down here to detain me and search me and abuse my human rights. No, you're abusing my rights.
Pulling out a phone and doing research right now. I don't know who you are. I don't know anything
You could get this constable to do it. You could get the chief superintendent to do it.
A little bit under control. That's absolutely fine. Right?
Well, sorry, what's your name, Chief? Elizabeth Chappell, and was it Sergeant McKinsky? And your warrant number, sorry? 238826. Thank you. Just so I know exactly who to reference in the complaint to the IOPC.
Absolutely fine.
Absolutely. I will not be bullied by a threat of a search from exercising my right. You know we have human rights in this country. Do you remember your oath? Do either of you remember your oath? No, I doubt that you do you?
We're not going to do this.
You don't have to, but I can still talk and I can still ask questions.
Okay.
Neither of you remember your oath. You swore an oath to the crown of this country to uphold the human rights of the people. I have an Article 10 right to exercise my freedom of expression. That's exactly what I'm doing.
You don't have the right to film police officers.
I absolutely do. Anywhere in a public place, yes I do. So you're going to come, you're going to come and get a uniform to come with a body-worn camera who has the right to record me, but I don't have the right to record you.
Recording us?
Yeah, but she just said I don't have the right to. Which I absolutely... You just said you don't have the right to record police officers.
You're doing, you've raised our suspicions that
Well,
you're
you're raising my suspicions right now of absolute tyrannical constables. And it's disgusting that it's a superintendent and an inspector. Absolutely despicable.
Okay, no problem.
You keep saying no problem, but it is a huge problem. A huge, huge, huge problem.
Can you just cover our So, essentially, I'll give you a little update. This individual has been spotted outside by an officer leaving the police station unlocked in their own personal vehicle. She is concerned because it looks like he's filming. Obviously, the evidence probably got coming through. He's also filming an officer going home from work, not in plain uniform at this time. As such, given the situation of threat, there's some concerns that perhaps he's raised our suspicion around in a CT environment. So, obviously,
Again, so before you sorry.
you could put body one on, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's a vehicle coming, guys.
Almost routine. The auditor is casually narrating, pointing things out, even complimenting a bike. There's no aggression, no urgency, just observation. And that's important because it establishes a baseline. But here's what often gets overlooked in situations like this. Context builds quietly star. The moment someone starts filming a sensitive location like a police station, even from a public space, it can trigger internal alerts. Not necessarily because it's illegal, but because it's unusual. ND once that attention is triggered, everything changes. The same calm behavior can suddenly be reinterpreted through a lens of suspicion. That's exactly the shift you're about to see. And once it's...
Try and get some shots of marked vehicles coming in and out, like this one. If obviously it wasn't being obstructed, I would get a nice sweep shot of a marked vehicle going in. Right? So let me finish. I've advised the Chief Superintendent and the Inspector that there is a memo from the National Police Chiefs Council, okay, that clearly explains vloggers and social media auditors filming police stations, and that it is not to be used as a ground for a Section 43 search, okay? Now, obviously, I've just heard the inspector say that it's down to you and it is ultimately your decision whether to do a search. As such, if you detain me and search me, you will be the one that is liable, because you'll be the one detaining and searching. You would be the one that is liable under the IOPC complaint procedures for disciplinary and dismissal, okay? So I would advise that, yes, your superiors are suggesting that you do something, but I would suggest that you have some common sense. At least look up this memo before you take any further action. I'm not going to go anywhere, but I would suggest that you look up this memo before you put yourself in a bad situation because a chief superintendent and an inspector is asking you to. Okay? Because you are the one that is ultimately responsible for your actions as a constable. And they don't have the balls to detain me and search me themselves.
Okay, are you aware that there's not a lot of marked vehicles that come in and out?
I wasn't aware of that, no, but I appreciate you telling me. I didn't know that because I've not been here before.
You've not been here before?
No.
Okay.
So how would I know that?
So, were you not here earlier?
No.
No.
No. Well, have you had somebody else here filming today?
Well, I've just been told that you were here earlier.
No, I've been here 14 minutes.
Okay. And how long are you staying here?
As long as a piece of string, my friend. You know, like I said, that shot that I've just missed because I'm now engaging in this conversation with you probably would have been enough to get my footage. And I probably would have been on my way. But obviously now I'm going to have to wait for another vehicle because I need to complete my footage. You know.
How many vehicles are you looking for?
Just one. Yeah.
Just like one police car?
Yeah, marked vehicle. Yeah. It's just, so it's...
Why are you filming?
Pardon?
Why are you filming?
Because I'm interested.
Okay.
You know, we all have individual interests, don't we?
I know everyone tends to have like their own different reasons.
Absolutely, exactly. You know, and I have the right to freedom of expression in this country.
Exactly.
You know, and I absolutely have that right. I'm not trespassing onto your secure areas. I was stood out there. I clearly filmed the fact that you got the authorised vehicles only and the police personnel only sign. And so I made a point to point that out for my footage. And the fact that I'm not going past that, I stood there to film through. All I could see was a forensics unit. And I said, I mean, no, because I need to keep the camera pointed.
Where a simple interaction starts becoming something more. The officer's question, "Why are you here?" might sound harmless, but it's actually a probe. They're trying to establish intent, and intent is everything in situations like this. The auditor gives a vague but polite answer. Just interest. Now, from his perspective, that's perfectly fine. He doesn't owe a detailed explanation. But from the officer's perspective, vague answers can raise more questions than they answer. And here's where tension begins to build. Because now, both sides are interpreting the same moment completely differently. One sees a lawful activity. The other sees a potential red flag. And when neither side backs down, escalation becomes...
She stood there, it's not always possible.
Our sort of standpoint, the only real issue that we have, right, is the fact that you're obviously free to film whatever you want. Right?
Absolutely, thank you, I appreciate that.
The only issue comes when you're filming officers not in uniform, leaving in their personal...
But again, you're making assumptions that that's what I'm doing.
I'm not making an assumption or anything.
Exactly.
The problem stands when that thing
Okay,
happens.
but again, that's not illegal,
So,
is it?
Up until then...
It's not illegal to do that. I can record every personal vehicle coming in and out. And you can ask questions. I don't like the fact that... But I don't like the fact that... No. Yeah, but we are, but they weren't. I'm fussed about it. I had a chief superintendent and an inspector threaten me with a section 43 search. They should know about the memo. They are like the highest ranking constables. No, I can't.
With the section 43, that's underneath the terrorism.
Sure.
If we feel like what your actions are doing will pose a personal risk to any officers that aren't in uniform, because you're getting...
Sorry, you're quite softly spoken.
Sorry,
that's all right.
Because you're basically, getting their legal information that way by, recording their registers and things like that. That sort of raises our sort of threat level. So we're like, oh, why is he recording these officers? What's he planning to do with that video? That's where our ground stands. It's not to say that necessarily we are going to be searching section 43. But that is an option.
It's not. It's not enough grounds. The memo clearly covers this. It's not an offence to film anybody's registration plate, personal or private. I'm having a conversation with the constable. You can bugger off. No, I'm done with you. You didn't want to talk to me. Now I don't want to talk to you. No, not to him. To you, I will be. Because and I'll continue with it. I'll continue that with you. He can bugger off. I'm done with him. But
why exactly? What was he up to?
Because the inspector, as I said, the inspector and the chief superintendent came out demanding ID and saying that I have to provide it, and then saying that they're going to get a uniform out to search me under section 43. Yes, good plan. But yeah, it's not a power in this situation that you have the right to use. You have to have objectionable, solid grounds, and there are specific grounds under section 43 that you need to have. Pardon? That's not my job to tell you that. No.
Clearly you know the legislation.
I do know the legislation very well. I know this legislation very well. As I explained to the chief superintendent and the inspector, I already have a lawsuit against the NPS for an illegal search under section 43. And that's in the process of going through right now. And it's not my goal to get a lawsuit. Honestly, it's not. All right?
Do you have like a YouTube channel?
The conversation's now much calmer. The auditor and the constables are talking about the nature of...
The situation escalates. A request for ID might seem routine, but in this context, it's a big deal. Because unless specific legal grounds are met, there's no general requirement to provide ID.SO when the auditor pushes back. He's not just being difficult, he's asserting a boundary. But then comes the real escalation, the mention of counterterrorism risk. That's a serious label, and once it's introduced, everything changes. Now the interaction isn't just about curiosity or suspicion. It's about potential national security concerns. And that raises the bar significantly. The question now isn't just, what are you doing? It's, can we justify treating you as a potential threat? That's a massive